Hey, what's up? My name is Cade, and today I am comparing FTM bottom growth pumps, whether it is air suction based or water based. For the water based pump, I got mine from Bathmate, and this is the 3-inch pump. The air based one, I'm just gonna go over this one, which is from New York Toy Collective, and it is the air based pump. In the description below, I will link both of these pumps, and if you do use the links that I have in there, it helps support me and the channel. Some of the things that you want to keep in mind before you decide what pump you would like to get is size of the pump. And this is more coming to like storage and how bulky you want it to be able to take up space wise. The size of the bottom growth / T-dick on the person that is planning to pump. I'm going to also go over the risk, possibilities, and how there are a few different things with both of the pumps. The last thing to consider when you're deciding what pump to get is how you are able to pump, like what's comfortable to you. Let's start out with the two different sizing things you need to consider. So number one, how bulky the actual pump is. Depending on who you are, you might need to be able to pump in private, and sometimes when you have to kind of put things like this to the side, whether you're still living with your family or whoever, it is something to definitely take into consideration with how big the actual pumps are. At least with this air-based one, you can kind of like bend it with the tube, and this one you can't just, you can't do much with how big it is. Now let's talk about bottom growth size. If someone's starting out pumping, or they're on the smaller side, or they're pre-T, I recommend going for the air-based pump, like this one from New York Toy Collective. If you are on the larger side and you're more advanced at pumping, I recommend getting the LA pump style. It is still a bit on the larger side comparing. It's probably like in the middle with all three of these pumps. If the T-dick is anywhere from like 2 to 3 inches, especially when soft, I think this is more of the ball game when you want to get like a larger cylinder pump, or you go for the 3-inch Bathmate water pump. Now let's talk about risk possibilities. I've been pumping for over 5 years at this point, and when I've used the air pump, that's where I've ran into the most trouble when it comes to a little bit of damage. With pumping, especially with the air pumps, you have to be super careful with like how long you're pumping and being aware with like how your body is feeling. There have been like 2 different circumstances at this point where I've accidentally blistered my bottom growth because like the suction was just on for a little bit too long. You have to be like extra careful when it comes to the air pumps. Just really check in with your body and make sure that the size is not too small of the cylinder. Of course, it's always best to start smaller and going up, but that's something to consider with the air pump. With the water pump, there's not as much of a risk for getting any type of like blistering. I think this is still very important whenever you're pumping with any type of pump, is being aware with like how your body is feeling. And there should still be like a slight pull, but if you're starting to feel like pain or a lot of discomfort, you're gonna wanna stop pumping immediately. Another thing to consider when you're deciding what style of pump you would like to get is how you actually enjoy pumping and if you like lube or not. If you're starting out with the water pump, to compare with it first, you do not need to use lube when you're using the water pump. When you're using the water pump, it's usually best recommended that you use it in the bath, or if you like to even just use it in the shower. Sometimes the suction's a little bit iffy if you're standing right up. Sitting back in the bath, not having to use lube, I feel like pumping, doing it like this way, is a lot more of a relaxing, like completely experience with like taking a bath and having that slight pull. If you like to like pump while you're in the water, or whoever is in the water that's looking into getting a bottom growth pump, I think this is definitely worth looking into. Even though I am comparing water-based pumps and air-based pumps, there is another thing to consider. So for a pump like this, like the LA pump, you're able to like unattach the actual air pump. So something that I've done in the past is like I put it on me, and then if I want to like fold some laundry or do a small like not heavy moving task, tasks. I can still keep this on with me and it's not being held down by this more hefty, like actual pump attachment. And then this one from New York Toy Collective, you have to keep it like on you with this type of pump at all times. Just like the Bathmate pump, it's better to just be able to sit back and relax. With pumps, it really all comes down to personal preference on what works best for you and your body. If you liked today's video, make sure to give this video a big ol' thumbs up and subscribe below if you want to see more videos like this in the future. If you're interested to learn more about how to pump and getting more into specifics on like how bottom growth pumping actually works, you can check out my video that I posted quite a while back right here. Thanks for watching. Peace.